Hello, everyone. We are so excited to announce our new live weekly show. Welcome to our Real Talk Real Estate Show. My name is Darrin Isaak, and I am joined by my partners Laurie Davis and Robyn Mosner. Say
hello. Hello, Darrin. Hello, everybody.
Hey, guys.
How are you guys
Thanks for
doing?
being here. So excited
Awesome.
today.
Okay, I want to let everybody know that we will be live every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you a market snapshot, both nationally and locally in our markets. We will also discuss hot topics in real estate market, as well as have top expert guests to help you with all of your real estate needs. So today, in our first episode, we are going to be discussing what effects we have seen with COVID-19 on the housing market. So with that, let's just get started and let's just dive right in. So Laurie, you're from Kalispell up in Montana, right?
Yes, that's exactly it.
And Robyn, you're down in Austin, Texas, right?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay, cool. So there's 405 different markets in the United States, and each one is different. But there seems to be one common question that keeps coming up, and it has to do with this. Where is the market going, and should I buy, sell, or should I hold in this market, and should I maybe wait for the correction in the market? So Laurie, what are you seeing like up in Montana? Should people buy, sell, or hold?
Well, that is a wonderful question, and I also am getting the same question from people on a daily basis, and I can understand how it can be confusing for people because, you know, they are thinking that this is something that will be an impact that we see right away. And the truth of it is, it's just not. It takes time for a market to go through a shift and to really see what a crisis does to a market. It doesn't happen in 6 months, and most of the time it doesn't happen in a year. So the answer to that is, with everybody being afraid to list their homes right now, what it's created is we've already had a shortage of homes. It just made it harder for people to find homes right now. So the truth of it is, you guys, we have a ton of people waiting to buy a home. And if you don't put your house on the market, then we as realtors, we don't have anything to show them. We're contacting for sale by owners. We're asking expired listings if they are willing to sell. So we're really trying to help people, and people want to buy right now because the rates are at an all-time low. So that's what I'm seeing here, and that's really what I want to make sure people understand, is that you do still need to sell. If you want to sell, this is the time to sell. It is a seller's market.
So there's a statistic, it's called the absorption rate, which is a gauge of inventory, which is basically a function of supply and demand. What are you seeing up in Montana as far as that absorption rate? Maybe you could explain that a little bit, what that is.
Yeah, well, basically it's a percentage of how they look at the home. So, you know, let's say that they have, I think it would be like 100 homes on the market. You know, if they have 10%, let's say 10% of those homes that are actually selling, that's what they're talking about with absorption rate. So when we look at it, we're looking at an inventory length, okay? So how many days is a home on the market on average? So typically right now, we're looking at maybe 3 to 4 months that a home is on the market if it's above what we call the sweet spot as a realtor. So our sweet spot, or our medium price point here, is right around 350 to 400,000. And so those homes are flying off the shelf. If it's under 350, especially, I mean, one day it's under contract with, you know, 7 buyers waiting behind it. So that's what we're looking at right now. That inventory is gone within a day. Now, if it is a little bit higher price, those are about 3 to 4 months. We do have a lot of multi-million-dollar homes here as well, a lot of cash buyers that come in. And those homes, if they're priced right, if the seller's motivated, those are selling in under 6 months. So no matter how you look at it, we are really in that absorption rate that they're looking at indicates that we are in a seller's market, and that's not changing anytime soon for all of those price levels in our market here.
All right. Robyn, what are you seeing down in Austin, Texas? Are you seeing kind of the same?
Austin has continuously been a strong market. And right now it's a great market for both buyers and sellers. Because as a seller, there's less competition on the market. There's less demand in houses going on the market for sale. There's less competition. And the buyers that are out buying, they are not tire kickers. They have to move for one reason or another. Maybe a job, maybe for a family. Right now, if you professionally prepare your house, you can realistically expect that to be under contract, I would say, within 2 to 4 weeks at the longest. And right now, I just closed with a buyer at a 3.2% interest rate. That's phenomenal. These interest rates are at an all-time low. Sellers, our prices are still strong. We're not seeing a reduction due to the current situation. So I would say it's a great market for both buyers and sellers.
Well, yeah, and with the interest rates so low right now, buyers are like, they're kind of frothing at the mouth to get into some of these deals because it's a great deal, right?
One thing you have to be aware of, you have to really have a great relationship with the lender. So every real estate agent should have a great partnership with the lender, and they should be the source for their buyer. Because what happened, I don't know if you saw this in the news, but the big banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they had restricted their requirements. So instead of being pre-approved at 620, they're going now to a 680 or higher. And that puts a lot of buyers out of the buying process.
So is that a result of the coronavirus, the situation that we're in, or what is that a function of, do you think?
I think it was sort of like a scare factor because, they don't know if they're going to give somebody a loan and then a month later or a week later, they're going to be unemployed. So it's just trying to control that risk. It's really, they're trying to adjust to the unknown. But I think that things are going to be loosening up a bit. I know the lender that I deal with, he can still loan at 620.
Yeah. Well, I know that, with all this shelter in place stuff, I mean, people around the country are, they've been kind of quarantined for over a month now. I know that the question sometimes that I get is that, well, are you able to get out and sell real estate? I mean, is real estate moving right now? What's going on in the market thing? So how has COVID-19 kind of changed some of the ways that we market as real estate agents, and how are we able to help buyers and sellers, and are they still able to, function and do those transactions? Laurie, what are you finding up there in Montana?
Well, it's interesting because we do have a lot of buyers that aren't here yet, and they're from other states, and they're putting in offers based on us as real estate agents going in doing FaceTime. So, with technology, we're able to go through and do a walkthrough. We can look under cabinets. We can look above, closet space. We can look wherever they need us to look right there with the camera, answer their questions, and they feel confident enough with the video to go ahead and put an offer in. So it is still happening. People are still purchasing. I don't really say it's sight unseen because they are seeing it virtually. And then we do have the inspections to rely on. If something comes up that I wasn't able to point out to them, while I'm going through the home, then we still have the inspections just like you normally would. So, buyers, I feel, are confident with those virtual tours. And then on the other side of it too, we're taking extra precaution to make sure that we are careful going through the home. The kids aren't coming through if they do come in and see it. We're making sure there's sanitizer, that we're spraying Lysol, that we're using gloves and masks. So we're doing the above and beyond to make sure that we're not bringing anything to the home if it's not a virtual tour. And on top of that, many sellers right now are getting more anxious to get on the market. So we are also doing virtual for them for those listing presentations. And, yes, it's a little different. They're getting on their phone and they're walking through, and we're seeing, we're asking about the furnace and the roof and the windows and everything else that we would do, just like if we were there personally. So, a lot of times we have to use their photos for the inside. We can't go and do professional photos yet. In some regards, sometimes we can. It's just really the comfort level of the seller is, what it comes down to. But by all means, business is still happening. We are still selling, and we are still, closing homes. So, I think that fear that the media has put out there for people to be, thinking that it's stopped, it really has not. We have not seen that here.
Robyn, you were telling me the other day about a story where you were showing a house and you were scheduling it in increments, and you got into a kind of a multiple offer kind of a situation. And that was just recently, right?
Right. Well, I think, every situation creates an opportunity.
Right.
And, you know, during a time like this, you have to be creative. So I thought, you know, either I'm going to let this situation beat me, or we're going to take advantage of it and make it work to our benefit. So what we did is we put a house on the market on Wednesday, and I did the 360 tour, also had a floor plan created. And in the MLS, I had the remarks where we were only going to have showings from 12 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, 20-minute increments starting at 12 to 12:20, 12:20 to 12:40. They did have to complete a form. Both the buyer's agent and the buyers had to sign it that they didn't have any fever, they were going to wear booties, all of that stuff. And because we had only allowed 4 hours, and it was very strategic, at the end of those 4 hours, we were in a multi-offer situation because there was urgency. Those buyers
Yeah.
had to move.
Yeah.
There was urgency. And we, you know, by 4:30, we were in a multi-offer situation and we received an offer above list price.
Right.
So during this time, you have to be creative. And, you know, it just took away the fear from the seller because they only had to open the house one time.
Yeah. Well, so the bottom line is real estate's still moving. The market
Moving in
hasn't
Austin.
stopped. You know, and
Right.
like you said, there's opportunity in adversity. I mean, you know, I know a lot of people are trying to decide whether or not, you know, they should wait. I mean, because like in a pandemic, you know, you see it online where they say that the dip is more of a V. And so in pandemics, it usually goes down and then it goes right back up. But from what I'm seeing, the difference is between, like, let's say, let's look back to like in 2000 when the dot-com bubble was happening on, when that was going on. The pundits on all the experts are kind of saying that this particular cycle, and there's like a 10-year cycle, and we're kind of actually overdue for one anyway. But the cycle right now resembles more of like in 2000 than it does in 2008, because 2008 was actually caused by the housing bubble and the improper uses of mortgages and all that kind of stuff.
Mortgage fraud,
So
right?
yeah, and so even a lot of the experts believe that even though we might be in a recession, that even with COVID going on, that we may not see a actual depreciation in some markets for real estate. We are actually going to probably see a very modest appreciation. So we may not have a 2008. They don't think we are. They think it's going to be more reminiscent of 2000. Do you agree with that? Do you see that as a possibility?
I would agree. Different situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, other states like maybe North Carolina, they were literally shut down from doing any real estate, and they were actually, you know, fined if they were caught doing any type of open house showing or anything. So, you know, those areas might feel a little bit more of a difference of appreciation and those types of effects. We don't really know because we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know. But what we can tell you based on what's going on right now, you know, this is the time to still buy. You can be confident with the rate still being low. You know, yes, unemployment is at an all-time high right now because of the fact that there were so many layoffs, but also people are getting back to work. You know, things are starting to turn around. So, you know, do we know what it's going to look like in 6 months from now if this, you know, increases again? We don't. But at the same time, we do know that even if it does happen in another 6 months, it's going to take a year or more for the market to correct due to some type of incident. And one thing I do want to say too is, you know, we don't want to have it be the type of market that we had before. It was not a good market, not good for people losing their homes. They were in foreclosure. It was scary for people. When you have the inventory increase, you guys, like that, that's because we're in a market that is not a good place to be. We're talking about a lot of job loss, not just temporary, permanent. And, you know, you're also looking at the fact that you're upside down. So now your property taxes that you're assessed for are higher than market value. And so it's a complete turn. It's just upside down. So we don't, as realtors, we don't want to see that market. So when people ask us, you know, when are we going to see more foreclosures? That's not a good thing. It means that the whole economy is in trouble. So, you know, yes, it sounds great. I get a heck of a deal. But you have to think of it this way. You may be paying top dollar for a property, but you want that because of the fact that that means we're still appreciating. and you are going to gain equity in your home. That means that our economy is still considered strong. We don't want it to go the other way. So with that being said, just make sure that you personally don't bite off more than you can chew, that you buy a house that you can afford. Know that the property taxes can go up. That does affect your property, your monthly payment. And just be smart when you're going to pick out that house. If you are approved for, 320 and that's your comfort level, and then you say, hey, lender, can I do 330 or 340? Don't push it higher than you can go. Wait till the next house comes that you can afford. Because if the market does turn in, a year or 2 years, you don't want to be one of those people that can't afford your home and then you're upside down. And then we can't help you do anything with that.
Right.
So that's really what you need to remember through this process. Isn't really should I buy now? It's do I bite off more than I can chew?
Right. Well, we're almost getting down to the end of our time here, so I think it's been great. Robyn, final thoughts. What kind of advice would you give to sellers and buyers right now?
It's a great time to sell. Prices are strong for buyers. Interest rates are at an all-time low. Just to add to what Laurie had said, as a buyer's agent, I always tell my buyers, look, this is not your forever house, especially if it's their first house. So you know what? We want to have a payment that we feel comfortable with that allows you to put money in the bank. So what I do, instead of saying, hey, you know what? I tell my buyers, instead of saying, hey, you want to be buying a house for $300,000, I ask them, what is the payment that you feel comfortable with? And then we convert that into a sales price. Yeah. But it's very important for us as real estate agents to guide, whether they're a first-time home buyer or a second or third, because emotions run wild. And when I put somebody in a house, I want them to be happy a year down the road, 2 years down the road, because they can still pay their mortgage. They can still have a life, and they're as happy as the first day that I put them in that house. So.
Yep. Good advice. Laurie, final thoughts?
Same thing. I say that, if you're waiting, don't list your home. If you want to sell, contact a real estate agent that is going to do amazing marketing and be able to get your home in front of people online. And there's a lot of agents out there that don't do that. So make sure you're picky on who you use and the marketing is good for that online presence. Also find out how they are dealing with, people coming through the home. Are they going to follow the rules and your wishes? Make sure that you do that. And again, with buyers also, don't wait. Make sure that you're contacting your agent and you start looking at some homes. And even if actually, let's, just feel confident knowing that it's still happening right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies. This has been a wonderful day. I think the bottom line is the real estate market is still real estate market. Yes. It's a good time to buy. It's a good time to sell, and the sky is not falling. I think we're going to come through it. Laurie, real quick, tell everybody how they can get in touch with us. If you liked this video, you thought it was really good, hit the like below, comment, let us know the things that you'd like to know, and we'll bring those kind of guests on, and we'll be back here every Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern. So go ahead and
social marketing, real estate pros. It's RE Pros. That's what our YouTube channel is. Our Facebook page as well. We will provide the links below. Please reach out to us. Let us know what concerns and topics that you would like to hear, and any type of experts you'd like for us to bring on. We are here for you. This is about you. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, Robyn, Laurie, thank you so much. Make it a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you, Darrin. Bye-bye.